The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You had a break.
Let's move it, Radowski.
Oh my God. Oh, Jay, you're here. Hi. I would have said something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call the meeting to order for the Council of Royal Palm Beach this evening, and it is Thursday, July 17th. It is 6:30 p.m. All join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Thank you for being here this evening. And before we turn to our special guest, I'm going to indicate to our clerk that all members of the council are here, so let the record show that. Welcome everybody on this beautiful evening. Don't forget to take a look at our sculpture on the way out. And without further ado, I want to thank Representative Javante Edmonds for spending time with us this evening and bringing us up to date on what happened in Tallahassee, maybe a little bit of why, and probably more important, what to expect in the next session. So, Representative, welcome.
Oh, well, thank you, Mayor, for having me, and congratulations. I haven't seen you or been here since you became the mayor, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Councilman Miller, congratulations on your appointment, and Councilwoman Sharps, congratulations. This is definitely one of my favorite council to speak to. You all are very aware of the issues that happen in Tallahassee, and you're great advocates. So, you all, I'm proud to represent House District 88, which covers Lake Park, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Mangonia Park, and the beautiful village of Royal Palm Beach. Usually when we go to Tallahassee, you all, we are supposed to spend 60 days in session, and our constitutional duty is to pass the budget. And of course, to pass the good bills, fight the bad bills, but do the work for the people. This year, instead of spending 60 days in Tallahassee, we spent 105. So it was a very interesting session. While we are in Tallahassee, we will see over 2,000 pieces of legislation. Each of these bills could contain at least one page, or it could be up to 680 pages, but it is incumbent upon all of us as members of the House to read every single bill. The Florida House currently is made up of a supermajority, so we have 87 Republicans and 33 Democrats, and every single member will be on the ballot in 2026. And in the Senate, we have 12 Democratic senators and 28 Republican senators, and they also hold a supermajority. These are the committees that each member are assigned to. We are assigned to about 5 to 6 committees. I am the chair of the ranking member of the Health Professions and Programs Subcommittee, and I'm very proud that I was appointed to the Select Committee on Property Relief. Each member of the House has 7 opportunities to pass legislation. In the Senate, they have an unlimited amount of bills that they can put forth. Some put 40 to 30 bills up, so we are only able to focus on 7 key pieces of legislation. I intentionally try to focus on housing and education. That is my wheelhouse. That's what I truly care about. And members of the caucus focus on a variety of other issues throughout the session. A part of passing bills and fighting the bad bills are bringing home dollars for our district. This year we had 8 projects, only 2 survived our governor's veto pen, and I look forward to working closer with you all to make sure that we can get you all into the budget at least. But I know Representative Weinberg worked closely with you all as well. So this year, we passed a historic budget of $117 billion. So to put that in perspective, if you broke Florida out to be a country, we would be the 15th largest economic engine in the world. And so we are privileged in the state of Florida to do almost anything and accomplish anything if we focus on it. But I will tell you, we will have a reduction in our budget in the coming years. As you know, we have a huge baby boomer population here in the state of Florida. So by 2030, we're going to see a significant amount of those baby boomers retiring. It's going to reduce our revenue, And also, when we talk about the tax package, it will also explain why our revenue may be reduced. In our budget, healthcare was the only silo that actually increased this year. When it comes to education, criminal justice, environment, all those silos will actually decrease. We are tightening our reins on our funds, and we are eliminating government waste, but there's a reduction of funding in every silo but healthcare this particular year. We put a historic amount of money into the reserve, almost $15 billion. As you know, we're Florida, we're prone to hurricanes, so we need to be prepared with emergency management services if that does come. We saw $567 million in the vetoes this particular year. That is less than what has been done in the past. That is a big number, but that's actually a lot less than what we've seen in prior years. We're looking to increase our reserve amount. Technically, at the end of each budget, we try to put 10% of our budget into a reserve. There's going to be a constitutional amendment in 2026 to increase that 10% to 25%. Again, we're looking to make sure that we have the funds necessary as people retire and as we continue to be prone to hurricanes. So this is what the big issue was why we spent 45 days extra in Tallahassee. It's the tax package. Each leader of the chamber has a perspective of what the budget should be. The governor wanted the budget to be $115 billion. The Senate wanted the budget to be $117 billion. And the House, who's a little bit more conservative, wanted the budget to be $113. Why there is a difference of $4 billion? Great question, you all. So in the House, we wanted to reduce our sales tax from 6% to 5.25. They said it was historic, but it also would decrease the revenue of the state of Florida. In the Senate, they simply wanted to reduce the business tax and reduce any sales tax under $75 for shoes and clothes. These few items made a $4 billion difference. And so at the end of the day, on day 105, we came in the middle to about $115 billion because of vetoes. It increased to 117. But what is unique in this tax package, which is important, is the elimination of the business tax. Currently, the business tax for the state of Florida is 2%. At the beginning of 2026, it will be reduced to 1%. By 2027 of January 1st, it will be eliminated. So it does help those business owners who own commercial property to do away with that particular tax, and those who may have the pass-through of that fee from business owners also will find some relief from removing this tax. Although we are removing this tax, that means we are collecting less revenue in the state of Florida. We've already talked about baby boomers retiring, and now we've just eliminated the business tax. So all we have for income now is our sales tax, our trust funds, and our federal government partners. We've reduced that fourth element of the business tax. So be mindful that you will see a lot of reduction of services coming in the near future. We've decided to cut over 2,000 jobs in the Department of Healthcare alone. So you will see employees losing their jobs and a reduction of services, especially when we talk about SNAP and Medicaid. So we want to make sure that our residents who are on those fixed incomes are prepared. Also, law enforcement, firefighters, they will receive a 10% increase if they've been there 5 years or more. It will be a 15% increase. And we're going to power through some of these points. Not everything applies to the council, so things that are important I would definitely highlight. What everyone cares about the most is insurance. That is the biggest issue here in the state of Florida. It's the biggest issue in South Florida, to be very transparent. It's not the biggest issue in Lafayette County or Escambia, just to be transparent. And so, unfortunately, nothing was done in regards to insurance. There were proposals put forth, such as insurance company cannot drop you within 30 days of a hurricane. Currently, right now, if you sue an insurance company and you win, you still have to pay your attorney fees. There was a bill on the table to say if I sue the insurance company and we win, you pay my fees as well, which is how most litigation is done, but not with insurance. So we had proposals, but they did not go forth. We did subpoena the leadership of various insurance companies to bring them to the table. There were more questions than answers actually accomplished there. A program that every resident can take advantage of is the My Safe Florida Home program. That is a $10,000 grant to fix your roof, your windows, your doors. That is free money from the state. That application is going to open August 4th. We have a wait list, but we have over $280 million allocated to that particular program. When it comes to people who are trying to get their first home, we have the Hometown Heroes program, we have our SHIP initiatives, but we have a variety of state programs that will help residents who are trying to get their first home. Taking a step back, House Bill 913, if you remember when Surfside happened, we passed legislation that said condo associations need to have a full reserve. That burden was passed to residents in the form of an assessment. If you look at West Palm Beach, I'm not sure what happens in Royal Palm in particular, but they have assessments between $20,000 to $50,000. Residents were suffering. So the legislature passed this particular bill that will allow condo associations to find different avenues of money, such as credit or loans, to help make up that difference they have in association fees. Property tax, I know you all heard in the news they're thinking about doing away with property taxes. It's a great talking point. I'm not 100% sure how realistic that is, and we know how detrimental it is. I would say most of the legislature knows, but it's a great talking point. It sounds good if you're a homeowner. We know that it goes towards school, police, fire. I'm not going to give you the rundown of the list. You all know. We put forth 5 proposals in lieu of that, and that is, we'll give you the option to put it on the ballot to do away with taxes if you so choose. The second option is to increase the homestead exemption from $50,000 to $500,000. To our partners up north, that will wipe their tax base away. The third option was to let us, legislators, choose when the homestead exemption should be increased. The fourth option was to freeze how you calculate the amount your house is worth every 3 years instead of 1 year. And the last option is to do nothing if you do not pay your taxes. Those are the 5 proposals put forth. Talking about education, we passed a piece of legislation we passed a lot of legislation geared towards charter schools. Now, you all have the ability to vote to transform a public school into a charter school. Before this law, the parents and the teachers will have to vote up for that to happen. With this bill, parents will be the only deciding factor. So it will be you all and parents, and that's how you turn a public school to a job engine charter. We have a very interesting bill that is going to ban cell phones from K through 8. So there is going to be some pushback for those teenagers, but it's something that we all should be prepared for. There's also a pilot program in the high schools in the middle of our state, so they are looking to ban cell phones in high schools in the near future. As you know, we changed school start times in 2023. This legislative session, we reversed that. The only bill that's really important on this slide is Senate Bill 1080. So this is going to redirect how you respond to applicants in regards to zoning. So when I put my application in, now you have 5 days to notify me that you received it. You have 30 days to let me know if there's something wrong with it. And you have 180 days to approve or deny me. I know that we have the resources here to get that done, but again, some of our rural counties don't. Healthcare, and this is our last slide. We passed a bill that says that if I go to a healthcare facility and I overpay you, you are now required to pay me back. That should have been a law, but it's something that we passed this year. As you remember, a couple months ago, or maybe it was last year, we were in uproar of them about to build things on our state parks, and essentially our own Palm Beach County delegation member, Representative Snyder, passed legislation that says that it will no longer be allowed here in the state of Florida. So those are the updates. Those are the things that occurred in Tallahassee. Again, just to reiterate, one of the best programs residents can take advantage of is the My Safe Florida program. There's also a My Safe Florida condo pilot program that offers $275,000 for condo associations. So I want to make sure your residents take care of that. So thank you all so much for allowing me to be here today. If you have any questions, I would love to take them.
Council, have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Representative Edmonds, it is so good to see you, and it's just truly amazing to me to remember that at one point I was sitting in the audience because I was working with you. And now I'm on the council. But I know how hard you work. And I just want to say thank you for all of yourself that you give in order to represent us.
I appreciate that more than you know, Councilwoman Sharps.
Anyone else? Yes.
Thank you for your presentation, Representative Edmonds. Good to see you, sir. Just a quick question. I know you mentioned the My Safe Florida home and then the condo version of that. I know the budget outlook is not so good. Are there any other bills that are passed that municipalities can take advantage of that are some opportunities for us or for our residents that maybe weren't big primetime ones?
Not so much. I mean, we allocate fundings to cities and counties. That's just part of our state budget. But it's a very small package of things that actually come out of state of Florida because we're just trying to reduce the budget so much.
Right.
You'll see a reduction in every department. And again, we're trying to eliminate government waste. So I think in the near future, for instance, in our Department of Management Services, we found $59 million worth of trucks unlocated. And so we've been held accountable to make sure we recover that money, and we hope to reuse that money in the near future for programming. So that's what we're working on now, tightening that budget to hopefully give more.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you, Representative. Thank you. It's so good to see you. We appreciate you coming and giving the state of the state at the end of the session. For residents who may want to look further into some of the information you shared,
Yes.
would you be able to make your presentation available?
Of course.
Excellent.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
I believe you've been phenomenal. You have our PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And although you don't have a crystal ball, do you have any insights for what we're looking at for next session?
Reduction of budget, 100% guaranteed.
More.
All the departments you can think about. What we really need to focus on is what happens to SNAP and Medicaid. I'm not sure how many residents use that here, but with the tightening of the reins in the federal government, it trickles down to the state, and the state is not going to supplement that whatsoever. So those services that our senior citizens really depend on, they're really going to be cut back along with Social Security. And so we got to be prepared to somehow I don't want to say subsidize, but help them and support them when the time comes.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate you coming here, also Representative Edmonds, and all of the hard work that you do up in Tallahassee. You know, one of my least favorite phrases is zombie bills, the bills that keep coming back again and again. I'm guessing that the property tax issue is going to be one of those. And I understood that they actually put together a select committee, and I'm assuming that what you were showing was some of the results of that select committee. Is that correct?
Correct. We've only met twice since that committee was formed. I believe when committee weeks start again for the 2026 session, that's when we're going to meet again. But those are the proposals on the table. And again, what we're finding out is that what may be successful for someone who lives in Palm Beach County is going to destroy someone who lives in Lafayette County. And so now we're trying to figure out a middle point, a middle ground. Now, I have my own thoughts on how we fix this crisis, but I would love to talk to you maybe behind the scenes and tell you.
Of course, the home rule aspect is something that's near and dear to us for a lot of reasons. This one looks like pushing it down. Be careful what you ask for.
Yes.
Right? Pushing it down to our level because we know best. And the idea that a referendum ought to be the basis for a decision going forward has more logic associated with it than I like, because it does kind of make sense.
Yes.
Then it falls on us to make the argument to the voters.
Right.
And at the end of the day,
True, it's logical, Mayor. But if half of South Florida says yes and the half of North Florida says no, there are going to be some upset parties.
yeah, absolutely. Or there's going to be a real shift of the population.
100%. Oh, that's a very valid point.
And so these are, as you well know, big deals. They really are. They have a huge impact. And I guess it's most disturbing that I don't get the sense of an appreciation, the normal, right, of the impact on the municipalities, the counties, and that type of stuff when these big idea kinds of things are put out there, and they're so appealing on a political level, but so devastating on a practical level. Anyway, anything we can do to help you, help us, we're always more than willing to, and I think several of us will see you in Tallahassee.
Yes.
So-
You all always pick up your phone for me, and you all are great friends, so thank you so much for your support and having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, I would like to recognize my legislative assistant, Raina Sarkar, who's here with me as well. So thank you all
Great.
again
Welcome.
for having me.
Thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, shall we then step into council reports? Let's start with Councilwoman Sharps.
I've enjoyed all of the events that have been forthcoming. 4th of July, again, which is absolutely awesome. I just can't say enough about that, how well planned it was and how well it was handled by our staff. And it was just really a great time. It was good to go out. I love Commons Park. I love all of our parks. I have been getting quite a few emails regarding our HOAs and the communication that they like to have with the council. And I did advise them to please make sure that they come to our meetings, but to let me know what it is they can do and what they're trying to do. And I'll be sharing that with Ray so that he can share it with all of us in meeting.
Hi. As the mayor knows, I got the pinch hit for him today at the TPA meeting, which the big takeaway for us is the State Road 7 extension is still on the list of priority projects, which looks like that will make it into the tip next year. So those are very good things going forward. There's a lot of discussion about Tri-Rail, and I guess there's some funding issues out of this last legislative session. But hopefully things get worked out because they had their highest ridership ever at 4.5 million last year, which is, I know Mayor Pinto was always a fan of rail and pushing those things, and as the mayor is now, pushing the alternative sources of transportation. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be an issue. And they said, I don't know how many of us has participated, but on October 8th, it's the walk, now they call it walk and roll. I guess you could ride your bike to school day. I remember participating at Cypress Trails, and it's been a while, so I'm like, I wonder if any of them do it at the high school. So I think my daughter's going to be forced to walk at least some little portion on, maybe we can get a couple other high school kids involved, but that's something that they're doing. And then finally, we're going to have, if you haven't seen it on the news, I believe it's starting, is it August 1st, Chris? The issue up in North Lake with the Beeline. It's going to have a huge impact on, traffic in the region, and it is going to trickle down to us, and we're going to have our issues. And I think it goes to, is it the 10th, Chris?
It's 8 days, so it'll be the 9th.
Okay, so through the 9th. I just, I saw that the sheriff's office is doing an extraordinary deployment of resources to help the situation. People are going to be, it's not going to be fun. I mean, people are going to get riled up. They're going to get angry because you're going to see a lot more traffic. You're going to sit in traffic a lot more than you're used to. Please try to maintain focus that, hey, this is only, 8-9 days, and it'll be over soon enough. But I understand. I'm out there on the roads. It frustrates you and you're angry. But please try to be kind to everyone and, not have any incidents. And if you have any issues, we will have a good law enforcement presence. So if you have any questions or concerns, let them know and follow their directions. And everything should roll smoothly. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I add on to that. Is there an effort by staff, either through the Vector, the website, our bulletin boards, to let people know? Because as they may not be going on North Lake, they'll be going on Royal Palm and Okeechobee. And is there a way for us to let them know, look, the roads are closed and it'll be temporary, and that's why the traffic is what it is? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, certainly. We plan on putting information on the electronic signs and certainly could push things out through the Vector. There has been a tremendous amount of outreach as it relates to this, so I think that the public's well informed, and like Vice Mayor Valentes had said, people are just going to have to be calm during this. There's not a lot to avoid it. If you can work from home, the message is out there to work from home. If you want to plan that summer vacation, that would be a good time before school gets in. But there are a lot of resources that are going to be laid out there. I did meet with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They are going to put up a joint command center at District 15, which will include Palm Beach County Traffic, the Palm Beach County EOC, Palm Beach County Fire, and of course Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They're going to deploy drones over the area. The Sheriff's Office is going to put out 40 community service aides, which will have the ability to manually control signals if needed. As it relates to the village, we are going to put traffic pickles in all of our signals that can't be controlled remotely by the county, so that those will be there in the event that we need to manually control those. And there's going to be 30 motorcycle units that are going to be deployed as well to help people stay calm. They're not intended to ticket, but certainly to hopefully prevent road rage episodes and people making a bad situation worse. So that
Okay, great. Well,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. I would like to recognize staff for the great 4th of July celebration. I heard a lot of great feedback from residents. Just a great job, Mark and everyone. Council may remember we had a young man come and address the council about the music at our events a few months ago. I checked in with the family after and I heard back today that, things were good. So thank you to staff for keeping an eye on that. And congratulations to our schools. School grades came out. Royal Palm Beach went up to a B, Crestwood went to an A school rating, which is great, and our other schools did well as well, so congratulations to them. And now I'm going to move on to my AI tip of the month to continue my education for my fellow council members. So I might have mentioned deep research before. Has anyone played with deep research yet? Okay.
I don't think so.
So in a lot of the models, they now have an option where you could press a button called deep research and then put in your prompt. And what deep research does, it takes a long time. It doesn't give you an instantaneous response. It'll actually take, like I did one earlier today, it took about 10 minutes to get me the response. But it really takes its time thinking through what your request was and really searching through all the websites, everything it needs to give you your answer. For example, you can ask it, if we're talking about stormwater utility fees, you can ask how have Florida municipalities structured stormwater utility fees and what are common models. And you could get findings like, I got like the city of Gainesville used a tiered utility fee model. Tampa used an equivalent residential unit, which I learned all about. And Orlando used credits. But it would give you all the information you need to know about the subject, and it's really helpful. You put it in, you let it go, and then you come back and read it. So it's deep research. Check it out if you have the chance.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
News you can use.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Grodowski.
Love you dearly. I'm just saying, when you do your utilization of AI, check and do your research to make sure that AI has given you all the facts that you've been looking
Of
for.
course. Thank you, Councilwoman Sharps.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. In addition to our 4th of July celebration, which was fantastic, 25,000 people, an incredible effort by our Parks and Rec and our PBSO District 9 to make sure people are in and out in a very orderly manner and nothing happened, so thank you. And the music was fantastic. The bands were great. I also want to thank our team for all the work they did on our unveiling of Rooted. I know that was a big effort in getting the history and the photos, and it was a lovely event, so thank you. Coming up, tomorrow we have Food Truck Expo and concert at 7 p.m. with the Freebirds, tribute band to Leonard Skinner. And then we have the Senior Health Fair coming up. And then in August, we have another Food Truck Expo and concert, VAMS Band. And then that's on the 1st. And then August, I can't read, 15, back to school, 80s Bash. So lots of concerts in the park, and the evenings have been lovely, so I hope everyone gets out there and enjoy the fresh air and some concerts and enjoy some food and the food trucks, and that's it. Happy summer.
Report. Let me just tap on or tag on to the comment about the unveiling of Rooted, which turn around, you actually see it. A great event for all the reasons that Councilwoman Rodusky just mentioned. And I come bearing gifts, actually, this evening. So we have for each of the council members their very own replica of Rooted, which comes at the, because of my very talented wife, who, actually these were at the reception, right? And we thought they were just kind of a nice touch. They were so popular that if you're really nice to Carolyn, she'll probably make one if you don't already have one for you. But I've got one extra here. And I will tell you that it just is a good reminder about this, what that represents, and that is truly our roots and who we are and who we want to remain as we go forward. But I thought the event was absolutely fantastic. Really appreciated all the hard work by our staff on that. Speaking of hard work, 4th of July was amazing. Got to throw out numbers. So 25,000 attendees, that might be a record. That's pretty darn close if it isn't. And it only took 45 minutes to clear out the whole place, which is absolutely amazing because those of us who have been through much more painful exits know that I think we have figured it out. And I want to thank PBSO for all the great work, captain and crew. Speaking of numbers, a resident actually wrote me and said, well, I counted 500 fireworks. How many did we actually shoot off that evening? I think the entire show took about 26 minutes was what I think heard originally, something around 30 minutes, pretty long show. Actually, it turns out it was closer to 1,200 of those individual fireworks that went off. And then within some of them, there were even like hundreds of others. And so it'll lighten up the sky, and just a fantastic show that we've come to appreciate and rely upon every year. So thank you again to Mark and the Parks and Rec crew for putting on a fantastic show. One of the things that we did this year that was especially successful, turns out we actually made a substantial amount of money at $3,000 in the golf tournament over and above the cost. And of course, that money goes to our village scholarship. And while I'm speaking about scholarships, I want to thank the Vice Mayor for his generosity. And during our workshop, the budget workshop, the Vice Mayor offered up a $1,000 scholarship to continue and to add to our 10, making it 11 scholarships that the Education Advisory Board will have the opportunity to award to a deserving overall Palm Beach resident who is a graduating senior next year. So thank you for that, and I really appreciate it. The workshop, budget workshop, I thought was the best that we've had. Great conversations, great discussions, careful analysis, hard look at what we're doing with the resources we have, and I think the results will speak for themselves in the coming year. It's going to get more and more challenging every year from this point forward. There's no doubt about it. But I think with the structure that we have and the approach that we're taking right now, we're on the right trajectory to be able to deal with, and we're hearing more about the reduction in revenue. So we may think it's difficult at our level right now. It looks like it's going to be more challenging as less and less revenue is available for us. So, but I feel good about thank you. I feel good about the structure that we have and the approach we're taking to make sure that we are making the best use and hopefully the best decisions going forward. School grades. Yeah, we got 4 A's and 2 B's now for our 6 schools. Pretty cool. And some might say, so maybe our initiative that we started at the beginning of the year or during strategic planning to see what else we could do to help might not really all that necessary? Well, I would say no. Actually, this is the first time that I know of that we've had 4 A's and 2 B's, and of course, you do the math or however you do it alphabetically. That's not all A's, and so there's more work to be done there, which leads me to my main point, which is the council has been provided with 2 survey questionnaires, one that is designed to get input to our strategic planning priority effort to see if there's other things that we can do as a village council to support and facilitate our schools achieving all they can possibly achieve. So we've got one that's designed for the principals, had another, which you all just got, so I apologize for the lateness of it, that is designed to inquire of the Education Advisory Board members, same kind of thing. What do you all think the village council can do to facilitate, to assist the schools in not only achieving A's, but also in taking our civics experience, the student civics experience to another level, as well as to increase our ability to be advocates for our schools. So with all that said, what I'd like to do is ask council if anybody has any more comments. I know we received at least one about a suggested change to one of the questionnaires. If you all have any other suggestions, we'll capture those. But I would like to be able to get the council's agreement that we can direct the staff to go ahead and send them out to the 2 target groups, being the principals and the Education Advisory Board. Any questions or suggestions as to modifying?
Mayor, I do have one, and I think it'll apply to both.
Okay.
And my question is, of the principals and the advisory board, please tell us, right, we can wordsmith this, but basically, knowing the Village of Royal Palm Beach's role, what do you envision the village doing to support the schools? I would like to know what the principals envision us doing.
Okay.
And the Rec Advisory Board, what do they envision us doing to support the schools?
The Education Advisory Board.
Yeah, both.
Oh, both.
Both.
You want to throw it out to the Rec Advisory Board as well?
No, oh, sorry, education, sorry.
Okay.
I've got rec on the mind, sorry.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, we can work on the wording of that. Actually, I think that was the intent of the questions, was to extract that information, which is to say, what can we do? And
That's not the question. It's not what can we do, it's what do they envision us doing?
okay,
Because really, what I don't see in the survey is a clear line of distinction between the roles of village and the
Okay.
roles of school.
I see what you're saying.
And so I
So-
think we need to be explicit in whatever question we ask.
What does it look like to you? So principal recommends the following kinds of things that we could do. What does that really look like? What does it entail? More specifics, such that we could actually execute it, implement it,
Right.
do it.
Well,
At least decide whether or not we're going.
and what is our role? How immersed do we get, or how hands-off do we get? You know, we're an arm's length.
Do it. You mean,
Pardon?
how can we do whatever it is they envision? How can we do whatever it is they envision? You're
Not
asking-
necessarily,
Well, I
not
think-
how we do it, but what do they see our role as?
Right, but then, as they explain what they see our role is, if they understand what our role is, in their mind, what do they see us doing? Which would, yeah.
What do they see us doing?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not necessarily how.
Gonna offer
Yeah.
something?
Well, I was just taking, as Jan was saying, it's like, look, this is the school board, this is the education system, this is their job, this is their way. We are looking, in my opinion, to supplement and help them along, but they're the ones who know what they know, and we're not the experts in school stuff. So I think what I get out of what Jan is saying is we want to hear from them as to what they envision us doing, because I guess, for lack of a better term, we don't want to overstep our bounds or insert ourselves into, the realm of what they are experts on. And that's what I get out of it. Am I right, Jan?
For sure.
Okay.
And we don't want to overstep saying
Right.
we're going to commit to doing all these things when it's really not our role. So,
Okay?
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, the other thing, which I've been talking about even before I got here, which is what I ran on, just getting the youth. I love the questionnaire, especially about the civics, because I want to get our young people more involved. And through the Education Advisory Board is a great idea. And, because like I said, I don't want to be 92 sitting on the dais. I'd like for some young people to run and actually get elected. So, but I want to be knowledgeable when they become council members.
Okay. That's good. We'll see what we can do to wicker that in. And I'm still struggling a little bit to try to wrap my mind around exactly what I would say if I was the principal and you asked me that question. And maybe that's a good reason to ask that question, right? All right, I think I just
I
answered
could
my own
tell you
question.
what some principals would say, Jeff, is let us advertise outside of our buildings. And I've heard that from various principals over the years, but that is a role that is our purview. I mean, it's a moneymaker or revenue generator for them, and, but we have our codes and that's not allowed. So do we want to entertain that? But that's exactly what I would think a principal would ask of us or look at us for from their perspective, because I have heard that over the years.
Okay, all right, great. So if you all would have confidence enough to be able to allow us to go ahead and fold in these thoughts into a revised version of both, I would like to move them forward so that we can benefit from the responses, which I think will enable us to not continue to just talk to ourselves. Becomes a bit of an echo chamber, and I would rather not do that. I think we'd all rather spend our time doing something that we have a pretty good reason to believe there's an outcome that we understand and are shooting towards. So if you're all right with that, we'll take on the final tweaks to both and then ask the staff to get them into the hands of the people that we're looking for input from. Is that okay? Okay, great. All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, congratulations to our principals, staff, faculty, students, parents. It is really a community effort that causes the schools to rise to much higher levels. So I probably should. So I'm going to go to our acting village manager. Dare I call you that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good.
I prefer village engineer, but it's been nice working with you guys this week. I did want to say that. I was going to touch base on the North Lake closure, but I think we went over that, so I have nothing further.
Okay. Well, the one thing, since you mentioned the North Lake closure again, I want to mention that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, there is a kickoff for the countywide master transportation plan in the hands of a consultant that's based on a contract that was awarded by the Board of County Commissioners. It's at the County Government Center on Jog Road at 9 a.m., and it's open to the public. And if you have some time, I think it'll be a worthwhile event. If you don't have time to actually show up, I'm sure it'll be on YouTube, and I would strongly recommend that we all get well informed on that. And looking for a bright spot in the North Lake experience, I think it's reasonable to say that what we experience will be similar to what we will experience 2 or 3 years from now as growth continues around us, unless we do something dramatically different from just adding lanes as a solution. That probably a suboptimal solution to the problem of additional cars on the roadways. So the countywide transportation master plan is underway, and we're going to hear about it from the contractor, him or herself, tomorrow. And so I invite you all to that. Okay. To our attorneys.
Let's see. So this year, I am president of the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association, and I'll be chairing our annual seminar down in Boca Raton most of next week. We do CLE credits for quite a few of the municipal attorneys in the state of Florida. It's a very popular event, and I'm looking forward on Saturday afternoon to assuming the title of past president. That'll be nice to be done. And then just one other thing, this is not really legal, but I thought it was kind of cool. There is a house in the neighborhood that's just north of the RV lot in the village that was featured in on House Hunters on HGTV. The original episode aired in March, and then it was rerun this week. And they picked that house, so the folks that were on that episode are village residents. It was kind of cool to see one of our properties in the village on that program.
And that was not a makeover.
Was the one where they're actually looking to buy, and they,
Oh, great.
choose
that.
from 3 houses.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
That's cool.
for what it's worth, that's my report for
All
tonight.
right. All right, great. Well, thank you all very much. Let's see if there are any petitions to come before the council this evening.
Mayor?
We have none. Okay. Statements from the public on non-agenda or consent agenda items. Are there any statements from the public? Do we have any cards?
No, Mayor.
We have no cards. Hands raised.
Raised.
Anybody in the audience care to provide any statements or make any comments with regard to non-agenda items or consent agenda items? Not seeing any, then we'll close the floor to public comment and move to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
Number 1, approval of the minutes of the council regular meeting of June 5th, 2025. 2, approval and authorization for the mayor to execute the 10th addendum to the law enforcement service agreement by and between the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the Village of Royal Palm Beach. 3, adoption of resolution number 2522, resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, authorizing the mayor to sign that certain state highway lighting maintenance and compensation agreement with the state of Florida Department of Transportation District 4 concerning lighting, maintenance, and compensation for 7 FPL-owned light poles located within the south right-of-way on State Road 80, identified as contract number ASM 61, providing for transmittal, providing an effective date, and for the purposes. 4, approval of the bid award in the amount of $99,158, and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with Encore Broadcast Solutions, the highest ranked bidder for Farber Building audio-visual funds to come from the Farber Building Renovations Project, project number EN 2401. 5, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into renewal contracts with Call a Doctor Plus, Cigna Healthcare to provide health, dental, and vision, New York Life for life disability insurance, and Aetna Resources for living for EAP for the employees of the Village of Royal Palm Beach. 6, approval of the bid award in the amount of $344,250 and authorization for the village manager to enter into a professional services agreement for consulting services with Barry, Dunn, McNeil, and Parker LLC, the highest ranked bidder for enterprise resource planning ERP, project planning and development project. And 7, tentative adoption of the proposed millage rate of 1.9200 and approval of the scheduled public hearings on September 11th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. and September 18th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Village Council chambers.
Thank you. Does any member of the council wish to pull any of the consent agenda items? Not seeing any, then I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is approved unanimously. All right, then we'll move on to the regular agenda. First item on the agenda is public hearing to consider the application number 25-050 SE an application by Shanghai Foot Spa and Massage Inc., on behalf of Victoria Shops, LLC, and adoption of resolution number 25-15, confirming council action. The applicant is seeking a special exception use approval to allow for the state licensed massage therapist establishment within the general commercial CG zoning district for a property located at 129 South State Road 7, Suite 403B. And I'll turn it over to Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Mayor, if I could also
I'm sorry.
swear the applicants in and take ex partes, if I may, quickly. Is the applicant present? Can you come to the podium, sir? Can you state your name for the council?
First name is Penglin, last name is Lu, Lu.
Thank you, sir. Could you raise your right hand for me? This is a quasi-judicial hearing. Bradford, you as well? Do you both swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, and I'll turn back to the council for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
F.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll turn to Mr. O'Brien.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to repeat what you had stated, so I'm going to just jump right into it. This property has a current license for a state licensed massage therapist, and it's Shanghai Foot Spa, and it's the ownership is being transferred from the mother to the son. And when this was approved, and like we do with all other state licensed massage therapists, that if the license changes from one person to another, they have to come back for a new special exception. So we want to keep things consistent. The applicant provided in their justification statement that the spa has operated for over 10 years without violating any applicable development regulations. The business will continue to comply with all local codes and ordinances while serving the community needs in a professional, responsible manner. In reviewing the proposed special exception, staff considered compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistency with the village's comprehensive plan, and conformance with the village's development standards for the general commercial zoning district. More specifically, consistency with the standards of the village's comprehensive plan, complies with all development regulations of the village code, does not have adverse environmental impacts, does not have adverse vehicular or pedestrian traffic impacts, does not have an adverse impact upon public facilities, does not have adverse impacts on adjacent properties, compatible with the character and living conditions of the existing neighborhood, does not have an adverse impact on property values in adjacent areas, and is not a deterrent to the improvement or development of adjacent properties. The Planning and Zoning Commission considered this application on June 24th, 2025, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. And staff is determined the proposed special exception conforms with the village's standards, and therefore is recommending approval of this application. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Would the applicant care to make any comments?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I'm not understanding. Can you say that again?
Would you care to make any comments? Would you like to add to anything that Mr. O'Brien just said?
No.
Okay, all right, very good. So does the council have any comments or questions for either Mr. O'Brien or for the applicant?
I would just say, I mean, I appreciate the good work your family has done for the past 10 years, and I like the idea of it, being passed on and keeping it a family business. So basically, keep up the good work, and we appreciate you here in Royal Palm Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for everyone, and thank you for letting me be here. Thank you.
Great. Any other comments, questions?
I just want to also say thank you for the 10 years of service to the residents and continuing with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Great. No other comments, no other questions? Then I will look for a motion and a second.
Could we solicit public comment?
Sorry. Thank you. Does the public have any comments or questions? Not seeing any. No hands raised. And we have no comment cards. Okay, thank you for that. I have to be retrained. I was
I'm
gone for
sorry. I'm sorry
a
to interrupt
month.
you,
and
sir.
It is. So I apologize for that. Now let's move to, I will entertain a motion and a second.
I'd like to offer a motion that we approve a regular agenda item number 1.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you for being a good member of our community. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say, since my mother's taking that transfer the business to me, and I will continue follow all the regulation and be proud to serve our community. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You set a great example. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then moving on. Let's see if I can get this second one right. To regular agenda item number 2. Public hearing to consider application number 25-036 FP Paint Lux, an application by AMG Business Enterprises LLC, and an adoption of resolution number 25-17 confirming council action. The applicant is seeking final plat approval to add 0.235 plus or minus acres to the existing development for a total replatted area of 1.825 plus or minus acres for a property located on 6846 Seminole Palms Drive. Agent is Vincent Caffer.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh,
Nope, you got it exactly right. This
we're
one's
good.
legislative,
All
so
right.
right to Bradford.
What
I'm
you
gonna have to
said,
learn
the
that.
site has a land use designation of, why does it say that? Of industrial. This final plat is consistent with the approved site plan for this property and therefore is recommending approval of this application. It is consistent with section 2224 requirements. The plat contains all of the information required by our code, and the platted property meets all dimensional requirements of the zoning districts that are within the platted area. And staff is recommending approval of this application, and I'll turn the floor over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. So would the applicant
Hello,
make any
my name
comments?
is Vincent Kafer.
Nope, you're all set.
I'm good, okay. We're at the final step for this plat application, so I'm seeking for approval.
Okay, all right, great. Does the public have any comments? Okay, no hands raised? Okay, and anybody in the audience? Not seeing any public comment, we will close the floor to public comment, and then I turn to the council and ask if you have any questions or comments for the applicant or for Mr. O'Brien. Not.
Congratulations for reaching the end of the line. We finally, took a while, but we got here.
Still need engineering, but
But you keep going forward.
thank you so much.
So, okay, great. So tenacity pays off, right?
It's a long journey.
It does indeed. Okay, with no more comments or questions, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve regular agenda item number 2 as submitted.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any opposed, it passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Yes.
Appreciate your help. Have a good night.
Great business in the community. We appreciate that. We do. Okay. Next agenda item is number 3. It is public hearing to consider application number 25-027 SPM AAR, an application by Urban Design Studio, and adoption of resolution number 25-14 confirming council action. The applicant is seeking major site plan modification and architectural approval in order to modify the previously approved site plan to add male pavilions, revise the recreational areas, and update parking site data for a property located on Southern Boulevard, approximately 0.27 miles west of State Road 7, US 441. And the agent is Lindsay Jean Lewis of Urban Design Kilday Studios. So I will.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is also quasi-judicial. Can you state your name for the council?
Oui,
Thank you, sir. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth with your right hand raised? Thank you.
I do.
Thank you. I'll turn back to council for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
Staff.
Oh, I did talk to the applicant, not to you, but to another member of that group.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. Okay, with that said, I will turn to Mr. O'Brien.
Great. Thank you again, Mayor. We know this property as Pod 3 in the Tuttle Royale development, the one that's directly behind Lowe's. According to the applicant's justification statement, the request includes various site plan modifications to include updating the site data table, and you can see here it is clouded in red. Not very exciting, but these are the changes that they're doing to their documents. Updating the site to add one parking space north of Building 7 and south of Building 2, and one north of Building 6, installing 2 mail kiosks near Buildings 2 and 12, here and here. And I want to thank the applicant in strong-arming the Postal Service, because they wanted one at the very entranceway in the roundabout, and it would have eliminated this nice little recreation amenity that they have on their property. Revising the drive aisles and curbing near Building 13 to match as-built conditions and updating the adjacent parking row counts. Relocating grill equipment further back on each end of the structure near the lake and recreation areas. It's here. Labeling the outdoor fitness area along the sidewalk path with a note indicating a shade canopy and equipment, and I'll go over that equipment later in this presentation. So we're talking about areas here, 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 Lindsay?
It's just 2 to the left in between right there, and
Right
then if
there,
you go
okay.
to the north
So
side of the
they're
building, right there. Yep.
So this is going to create a nice fitness trail for the residents of this neighborhood. Modify the recreation area south of Building 13 by removing the vegetable garden and adding a picnic area. Removing trellises between Buildings 1 and 7 and between Buildings 11 and 12. Depicting 2 postal spaces on the site plan, the data table on the alternate parking plan, and converting the volleyball court to pickleball court, and dimensioning the queuing spaces near the entry roundabout. Here is a architectural rendering of the 2 of the mail kiosks. And this is the exercise equipment that will be on that exercise path that will be interior to the site. Again, a nice bench and some exercise equipment. The Planning and Zoning Commission approved this application on their June 24th meeting. Staff is recommending approval of this application, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, great. So let me turn to the applicant, see if he wishes to add anything to that.
Bradford covered everything in detail, really. Our prior setup was to have mail pickup at each of the individual 13 buildings, but as of recent USPS policy, they require more centralized location. We were able to come to a conclusion and resolution to have 2 locations throughout the site, and then the remainder of the site improvements are as we get further into the construction CO process. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll open the floor to public comment.
No comments.
No hands raised.
Raised. Anyone in the audience care to provide a comment? Not seeing any, I will close the floor to public comment and then open it to the council. Any questions or comments, observations? Anybody who can strong-arm USPS? It's an interesting word you use there. I know what that means.
Persuade.
Persuade, exactly, in the strongest sense possible. But congratulations on that. And it looks like you also took advantage of the opportunity to make some other adjustments while you were involved in doing that. So,
Well, they wanted us to believe that it was a requirement to have it in one place, and we asked to show us that policy, and they weren't able to do that. And then so we then said, okay, well, how about we have 2 interior to the site? And they said, Sounds good.
Sounds like teamwork. And it's interesting because that's not an easy argument to win. And so congratulations on that. It looks like you're going to be tweaking some of the other aspects that'll be beneficial as well. So, okay, with no further comment or question, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve regular agenda item R3.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Not hearing any opposed. It passes unanimously. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Thank you.
Anybody to help us with USPS, we know who to come to. Okay, I don't believe there's any more business to come before the council tonight, and that being the case, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you all very much.